I hope everyone's well today. It's New Year's Eve, last day of 2025. So I thought it'd be a good time really to just do a quick video. Some reflections on the year gone by. Just before I do that, just this lovely little nativity scene just carved out in the hollow of this tree. I don't know who's done it. What a lovely little creation. That is a real delight. I love seeing things like this. Really uplifting and inspires, quite inspirational really, inspires confidence that, you know, that there are people who hold faith dear to them, you know, that who create this beauty that the world really needs, you know, kind of fusing together nature and Christianity there. Look at that, it's lovely, isn't it? The bottom of that tree. So from that beautiful scene to this, here we go. Right, 2025, and you know, what do I want the future to look like? What do I hold dear at the moment, and kind of what do I want to cultivate? First of all, what lessons have I learned? Well, this time last year, my relationship with my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend Sarah, was in the last of its dying days. You know, the 2nd of January 2025, she ended the relationship, and we've been together for 8 years. So 2025, for me, without a shadow of a doubt, has been the most challenging, difficult year of my life, with some very intense pain and suffering, you know, emotional, spiritual, psychological and physical. And I wouldn't have got through it without the support of loving family and a few brilliant friends as well. And so that's the first thing I want to say really, is to my family, you know, my mum, my brother, my sister, and some very close friends who've been there for me, and the constant presence of my amazing dog Diamond, who is, you know, the best friend that anybody could ask for. Anybody with a dog will understand that. So I just want to really, first of all, show some gratitude for those amazing people and that incredible dog. So yeah, first thing I want to talk about really is, the second thing is about acceptance and surrender. They are similar phenomena but different. First of all, I was required, and I am being required, to accept that my relationship with Sarah is over now. I've just about accepted that now, but it's taken a long time. You know, acceptance relates to closure, it relates to a truth really, because I have to accept the truth that my relationship with somebody who I loved and I will always love is over. And you know, yes, there were certain things that caused me, you know, great angst in the way that the relationship ended, but I've got nothing but, you know, love and respect for Sarah, and I miss her, and I'll always miss her. A calming presence, a sense of peace. She was very trustworthy, and kind, and you know, she wasn't perfect, don't get me wrong, but I certainly aren't perfect and wasn't perfect. So acceptance. But even more powerful than that, I'm just standing here in this slight wooded area just to get out the breeze. Just want to talk about surrender. Surrender is even more powerful, because surrender requires you to submit, humbly submit to a force greater than you. And it's very powerful, because if you can surrender, there's a catharsis in it. Because if you can accept that there is a power greater than yourself, and I'm talking about myself here, then there's a sense of peace that can ultimately come from that. But it requires humility. So I am trying to learn to be humble. I'm trying to let go of my own self-will, pride and ego as I learn to accept the things that have happened and are happening in my life that I struggle with and that have brought suffering. You know, and then of course, suffering, the whole concept of suffering. You will suffer in life, we will all suffer. It is at the core of the Christian theology, is life involves suffering. Some would say primarily suffering, maybe, yeah. It's to what degree are we enlightened by that suffering, and to what degree can we be redeemed by it and learn from it and ultimately prevail. And the other aspect to it, of course, is self-imposed suffering. You know, how much suffering do we bring on ourselves? And have I done that this year? So what I'm trying to say is this year has taught me the importance of acceptance, the power of surrender. I would say also discernment as well. Because there's been more than one person that I've allowed into my life that should never have been there, but that's a whole nother story that I don't need to go into here. But acceptance, surrender, discernment, I have learned this year. I'm learning lots about myself. So that's 2025. My evolution is requiring me to give up control of things that I cannot control, to accept what I can't change, to surrender, humbly surrender, and let God take charge of my life. You know, I'm responsible for my actions. God is responsible for the outcomes. That's quite a simple and useful way of looking at it. And then where am I now? Well, in the midst of that, the peak of that suffering, only a couple of months ago, I decided to relaunch my YouTube channel I decided to relaunch my YouTube channel. And then about a month ago, I implemented a change that I've been thinking of for quite a long time, which is when I relaunched and revamped it. It's now called Roots of England. And I'm still staying in this little wooded area here because it's getting really quite windy. Hope I'm not rambling on too much here. I wanted to explore a different way of doing things and to create a community that I wanted to belong to, one that celebrated all the things that are great about the country of England, and to find a place that similarly minded people who had similar values to me and cherished similar things to me about their country, that could come together and find a place where they belonged, a place where they could feel rooted. You know, Roots of England, it's called, where I showcase and I talk about traditions and culture, customs. I show old buildings and churches, pubs. Today I put on a video of Liverpool Central Library, the Picton Reading Room there, which is absolutely magnificent. The landscape, the nature, you can see here where I am. Because something that I do feel, that I perceive to be true, I don't think there's enough individual unique perspectives. A lot of people are fed up, aghast, fearful. You could say they're onto the very many lies that are told to them by the mainstream media. But I just feel that too many people are hanging on to the coattails of some very prominent figures in like the alternative scene. You know, so they might see them as like some kind of saviour. And due to fear or paralysis or sense of hopelessness and helplessness, they're not really advocating by being their own voice, by creating something useful themselves. I do see that. So I think there's not enough of a creative impetus in the world, and communities are becoming more and more fractured and splintered off. So what I want to do is to find the people who are like me, you know, who see the importance of being an individual voice, but also a creative force, and also, you know, love the idea of traditional kind of like values around, and the community being at the centre of that, you know. And some of the kind of almost transcendent values that I hold dear are truth and beauty. And then underneath that is community, it is conversation, it's creativity, it's connection around the things that I love. I'm standing here right now in one of the places that I come to all the time, 10-minute walk from my house, and I'm just out into the middle of the countryside, and I love it. Leeds Liverpool Canal is just there, and you know, I don't know what I'd do without being able to come out here. I really don't, and just immerse myself in nature. So if what I'm saying resonates with you, and again I think I'm rambling a bit here, so I'll cut it short soon, but 2026 for me is about continuing to grow this channel, but also grow my online school community, Roots of England. So click the link in the description, you can join for free. First 50 people can join for free. I've got big plans, I've got a really grand vision for Roots of England, and what it can look like, you know, and how we can bring people together who need that sense of belonging, who need to find their brothers and sisters in arms, really, the people who they really feel at home with, you know. It's not a place for toxic fake spirituality, it's not a place for truthers, it's not a place for people who just want to continue the tired and tested political discourse, culture wars, all the rest of it. It's for people who create, who appreciate, who want to connect, who realise and understand and also imbue those values that I hold dear, you know. So if it's something that chimes with you, then join us. I think you'll like what we've got there. So that's what 2026 I hope brings for me. I hear people saying Happy New Year. I'm not actually sure that happiness is a good value to pursue. I think meaning is. I always think happiness is a byproduct, but I will say Happy New Year because obviously I prefer to be happy than sad. But I hope you have a purposeful, deeply meaningful year where you learn and grow and evolve, and you feel like you belong to something, and that you're connected to something real, something true, grounded, something that gives your life a deep sense of calm and purpose and direction and guidance. So I'll say that. I hope 2026 brings you all that. I hope it brings me that as well. And peace, some peace in a world that's chaotic and fraught. I'm going to leave it there. So if there's anything I said that you related to, please do drop a link in the comment section. I'll just leave you at this. The end. Nicer view than my face. There we go. Twilight's going to descend very soon. I'll speak to you in 2026.